Hi everyone, my name is Raquelyn Bueno, and I'm an intern here at the Institute for the Study of Sports, Society, and Social Change. Today I'll be talking about mental health. Mental health, a challenge we all face. Do you ever stop and think about how you're doing and feeling and just listen to your thoughts? It's okay if you say no, because we all go through life not really assessing how we feel, which can affect our daily activities and how we function from day to day. Today I'd like to share a story about a time that I had gone through which affected my mental health greatly. I was on an 8th grade basketball team, and I had won a game and was excited to tell my family about it. I remember walking into a room full of people in my living room, telling me that my grandpa had passed away. It hit me hard because he was my mentor, my motivation for playing sports, and the reason why I was so passionate about it to begin with. I was pretty devastated and I didn't know how to cope with my feelings, so I turned to basketball as a way of healing. I kept wanting to play hard and just keep my mind occupied, but it wasn't a healthy way of healing. I couldn't even talk to my coaches about it because I wasn't sure if they'd understand or if I was even able to. I look back now wishing that there was something that was put into place that would have helped me. So now I'm here to talk about how to destigmatize mental health and the importance of it to student athletes. As you can see, even the professional athletes that may seem to have it all can go through tough times, which can affect their performance and their overall well-being. Kevin Love and DeMar DeRozan are one of the first few people in the NBA to talk about their feelings in hopes to destigmatize mental health. Serena Williams also suffered from a postpartum depression when she gave birth to her daughter. Hopefully after this presentation, I hope that student athletes realize that it doesn't make you weak if you talk about your feelings and that it is okay not to be okay. Some key elements that contribute to the stigma of mental health is a culture in sports. The sports culture has always had the mindset of being mentally tough, which makes it harder for athletes to seek help. It also doesn't encourage athletes to open up about how they feel or talk about their feelings. This can stem from the hegemonic masculinity that sports portrays. Some factors that contribute to mental health is that athletes having to deal with time away from their family for a long period of time, suffering from an injury and going through rehab, and just dealing with too much pressure from family, coaches, and even themselves. Also dealing with racial and social injustice or unprecedented moments like COVID-19, and the post-traumatic experiences that they've carried with them along the way. Some of the barriers that I have came across was that athletes were worried about how they would be perceived by their peers and the public eye. They lack the knowledge about symptoms and disorders of mental health and also the services available to them. It can also be an inconvenience to take time away from practices and games to seek for help. Through my research, I found some methods that can help destigmatize mental health, and one of them being able to educate the importance of mental health to coaches and staff, and understanding the symptoms of it so they can learn to recognize it and seek help sooner. Also creating a positive and safe environment and build connections with their athletes so they can be comfortable enough to have open communication with each other. Also exposing athletes to other individuals that are going through the same thing can also help. It shows that their feelings are reliable and they aren't the only ones going through it. Athletes should also be educated to the services available to them. Creating more inviting programs, having more accessibility, and promoting them to student athletes can help make it easier for them to utilize. I know there are some guest speakers in attendance with us today, such as Dr. Keno Miller, Dr. Michelle Hampton, and Dr. Emmett Gill, who have created programs and interventions for student athletes. Since we're living in a virtual world due to a pandemic, maybe we can try and implement virtual spaces where athletes feel safe enough to reach out and get appropriate help. It could be a daily check-in and increase more availability for students to utilize. It's also easier than going to an in-person meeting, and it can be anonymous if they are not comfortable enough to share who they are. So now, after hearing my presentation, for those of you that answered no to my question earlier, whether you're an athlete or not, I hope you take some time out of your day to listen and check in with yourself. I also want to leave you with a quote that says, "Mental health is not a destination, but a process. It's how you drive, not where you're going." Thank you for coming to my presentation.